Hey guys, another beautiful day. That's right, it's the day of my flight, except I'm sick. My sinuses are congested. So this isn't good. Not too happy about this. We have to go to the airport now and try and figure things out with the ticket. It's not good because it's going to cost me a lot of money. A lot of money, which I don't want to waste because I get sick multiple times a year. Hey everybody, my name is Michael, and today we're discussing about COVID-19 vaccines and how blockchain can help out. If you can't tell, I'm a little bit sick and I can't fly today, so that kind of threw a wrench into everything, all my plans, and it's not too great. But it is what it is. I get sick multiple times a year. And the weirdest thing is I got sick 2 months ago in the summertime. I think that was from air conditioning. Still came to work that day, but won't be able to go to work. I won't be able to make my flight. That's supposed to be in a few hours. I did not test positive for COVID-19, so I guess that's a good thing. But the bad thing is I'm going to have to go through another test, which they're kind of uncomfortable and they're also expensive on Friday or Saturday. And hopefully then everything's okay. Hopefully I get better because, I want to make that flight on Sunday. So we're staying in Europe for a few more days. This was not planned and kind of fits in for the topic of the video. And in honor of today's topic, I guess, we're going to be making a video about how COVID and crypto align together in certain countries and testing and all this stuff, and how blockchain is actually necessary for more cases like this, actually. So something interesting that I found out is if you have clogged ears, which I've got ear problems and tinnitus and all that, and when my sinuses get clogged up, I actually had the operation 2 years ago, I think it was, it's a septoplasty. It was supposed to fix my airways and fix the clogging up and whatnot, but whenever I get sick, it gets really clogged up. Then you have to pop your ears, but the problem is when you're flying and there's pressure, you may not be able to pop your ears. And there's plenty of fun tales where people are like, oh yeah, it starts bleeding randomly onto my pillow, or I took my headphones off after a flight and then I couldn't hear anything. Everything was muffled because your eardrums burst. So it's like, great, that's perfect. That's not what I want to have. And what's interesting is the flight coming into Poland, I actually used different sets of earplugs than usual. And when we were descending, I got the worst migraine ever. And it felt like everything just wanted to explode from the front of my face. But it was just from a minute or two of putting in those earplugs when we were doing the descent. I took them out, I replaced them with better ones, but the damage was done. It was not a fun descent. And only when we got onto the ground, it got better. And people were saying in the comments that that's what's going to be. But for the entire flight, if you're very congested. So I've never flown sick. And pilots take it very seriously too, because if you're sick, you can't control the plane. It's just this whole mess. I never knew that. I was doing a fair bit of research about that right now. But a lot of people do get their eardrums who just burst. And that does not sound like a fun experience at all. And that would probably be worse. That would probably cost me a lot more. And then I wouldn't be able to work for the next few weeks, I guess. So take care of your ears. Take care of everything. But yeah, let's get into the video. Positive attitude for everything, right? I hate when you can't breathe out of one nostril. It's just like, it's the worst thing ever. Interpol has called out the risk for fake vaccines around the world. So obviously with the great pandemic, everything that's happening right now, crypto has taken many forms and it's helping in different varieties, one of which is with counterfeiting. Whenever there is a counterfeit product or service, you're able to simply verify with the correct data. You double check, hey, is it the legitimate manufacturer or is it coming from an unknown destination? And already there have been plenty of cases where people have tried to make money illegally through the usage of fake vaccines and fake COVID tests and fake everything you could think of. So earlier this year, this has been happening all around the world, but these are just some examples. In August, there was an alert issued by the World Health Organization. It was for false versions of India's Covishield vaccines in Uganda, India, and Myanmar. I think I pronounced that right. And a few months earlier, pharmaceutical giant Pfizer confirmed that anti-wrinkle treatments and other potentially even dangerous chemicals, other substances have been falsely labeled as vaccines, and some of them were sold up to $2,500 in Mexico, Ukraine, and Poland. Earlier this year, a man was arrested in China for leading a $2.8 million racket. He sold over 58,000 fake vaccines that were faked with saline solution and mineral water. It's one of the most profitable illegal markets in the world. Fake medicines and fake vaccines. This industry is worth between $100 and $431 billion yearly. These are just estimates. They could be even greater. The World Health Organization has estimated that at least 1 in 10 medical products in the low and middle income countries in Europe, Africa, the Americas, and Asia are low quality or they're falsified, and this leads to countless amounts of deaths every single year. The danger goes beyond medicines. There have been reports of fake vaccination certificates being sold for up to $120. Now, this everybody's probably familiar with, but it goes further. There's some websites that claim they can get you signed by a fake doctor. And there actually have been arrests where people have traveled to a country. Maybe they weren't fully familiar with how harsh the prison sentences could be. It's not usually a felony charge, it's usually a misdemeanor, but still there have been people who have been booked and charged because they wanted to get past quarantines or whatever other restrictions there might be in place. And if they just had a falsified certificate or the little passport or whatever it would be, they'd probably get off with a warning or a little fine or whatever. But as soon as a fake doctor starts getting involved and it's faked in the system and they can't verify it and you're just lying to the police, then you're digging a pretty deep hole for yourself. Recently, there was an arrest of an American citizen in Hawaii because Hawaii has been pretty uptight about that stuff as well. So yeah, not too good. But anyways, how can blockchain, how can cryptocurrency help with this? It's very simple, just like with a fake Rolex or a fake, I don't know, vehicle in the future, because China does make counterfeit vehicles, believe it or not, or fake purses or t-shirts or whatever it may be. If it says a designer, but the data does not agree with it, you can simply check online, you scan it, or type in the little code, or whatever the method of verification is. And as long as it's on the blockchain, you're going to have all the data, when it was produced, what price it might be worth at, what it was sold at, who owned it, if it's pre-owned, all the owners previously. So that's pretty cool stuff. It's kind of like a Carfax for your vehicle, except you're getting this for a purse or belt or shoes or whatever it may be, or in this case, real medicine, to verify that yes, it indeed is a Pfizer vaccine and it's not coming from some unknown destination. The risk of counterfeit vaccines is far higher in poorer countries, including those in Africa, especially when there's low supply of vaccines and high rates of sicknesses. 800 people in Uganda paid between $34 to $163 for fake shots. And over there, that's a fair bit of money. The highest risks will most likely be in countries where governments aren't able to fully track everything, and they have not secured enough vaccines to meet for demand. So all around the world, you have various countries that want to resolve this, and some consultants and nations where they're really, really gung-ho about making sure everybody's safe and all these restrictions and whatnot. For example, Australia has been very strict, and some consultants over there have begun to advocate for a vaccine registry with blockchain. There have been other countries as well where they've already used these blockchain systems to input data for vaccine passports or whatnot. Because it's decentralized and encrypted, it's basically tamper-proof. It's relatively transparent, it's easy to use as long as you know what you're doing with it. So far, according to UNICEF, COVAX has delivered 406 million doses, 239 countries. Of these, 82 countries have received donations of more than 134 million. This is a pretty big operation. Now, what happens if you have, let's say, 1 million fake doses? You have to figure out where they came from. You have to figure out which ones are contaminated and which ones aren't. This is a huge undertaking worth millions, even potentially hundreds of millions of dollars. and it could save lives as long as everything is set up properly. COVID-19 vaccines would be scanned, they'd be verified, the serial number would be compared to what the manufacturer has given out, and this would be put onto a blockchain secured list of product codes by the manufacturer from the factory that it came out from. Now, there have been some people and some studies that have come out and said this wouldn't be 100% foolproof because as always there's some human error, but it would help increase the chances that you would be able to verify if a vaccine is legitimate or not. So it wouldn't necessarily prevent all types of errors being made at the level of data collection and data entry. Let's say there's a sleepy employee and they just input the data wrong. Well, it is what it is, but the actual usage of blockchain, once it's input correctly, then it changes the whole game. In any case, better documentation of medicines, vaccines, whatever it may be going into the future, even forgetting about COVID for a second because, it gets tiring at this point. There's going to be other illnesses around the world, and it's always good to keep track of this. Blockchain will be here for the next few decades, even for the next generation. It will help out the medical world where they need millions of data points every single day to keep track of everything. It's not just vaccines we're talking about here. We're talking about life-saving equipment, life-saving medicines. Everything needs to be tracked, and there have been already huge cases, huge lawsuits where, unfortunately, due to human error, people have lost their lives because data was input incorrectly. There was tons of data that was lost. The data was mixed up. Sometimes, yes, you had fake medicines, you had fake doctors, you had it's just very chaotic. Besides the investment aspect of cryptocurrency, the utility aspects, and there's plenty of them. So pretty good stuff. So we're going to check out my glasses now because I think it's the wrong prescription. Might as well while I'm here for the next few days, and not feeling any better, but it is what it is. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and see you guys as always tomorrow. Tomorrow we've got a video on NFTs. It's an older one that I recorded. So thanks for watching.